we've all been there. Talk to me about when you were trooped.
Yes. Now, being trooped...
And then explain what it means.
In the Navy, we go out and we do things, either on the ship or abroad, out and about, and we can get into trouble. Naughty boys and girls now. So you're what's called trooped. You're put in front of the captain's table, formally marched up there. I know this because I was trooped. And actually twice. I was talking about the second one first, because I got up there, and to this day, I don't know what it was about. I think someone put a complaint in, and I went up there, and they did their bit and said, nothing to answer for, off you go. And I asked them, what was that about? And supposedly I upset a leading hand. Anyway, the second one, I think it was on the Charybdis. It was my birthday, and I should have been on a night watch, and it was agreed that I would have the share of some of the tinnies, drinks in the mess, and someone would step in and do my watch, and it was all agreed and thankfully witnessed. Well, of course, I had a bit too many. I was put into my pit, slightly inebriated, but then dragged out because the guy who had agreed to do it didn't bother getting up. Can't remember if it was somebody from the Radio Shack who had to come down and give us a shake. And I was forced to get up and go onto the bridge, and I had no idea where I was. And supposedly, rather than sitting there quietly at the station on the bridge, I slinked off, fell asleep in the bridge wing. And the officer of the watch wondered where I'd gone. I don't know if this is true. If I'd have fallen asleep on the bridge, nothing would have been said. We're pretty much on our own. We're not in company. We're in the middle of the ocean. It wouldn't have mattered. But he didn't know where I was, and it was thought I could have fallen overboard. And they were literally deciding whether to turn the ship. Not that I think they would have found anyone, it was the middle of the night, just in case. Now, if they had turned the ship, that would have been it. Regardless of the circumstances, I would have been thrown off the ship into DQ, detention quarters, I know that. But they found me slumped. Well, it was either the next morning or the day after that, I got put in front of the captain's table, punished, quite rightly, but I got a very weak punishment. It was I had to turn up to the kitchens and do extra duties. And I don't think I ever did anything. Loss of pay, and I had to, I think, lose some shore leave. But it was never anything that mattered because we weren't even at port. We was at sea for a period that covered all that.
Yeah.
But I think the person who should have did the duty didn't go down very well, let's put it that way. So yeah, a bit like you, when you said that went AWOL in Naples. Fair to rights. I had to take the punishment, but thankfully, I think people said the circumstances, this guy was, I think it was my 21st, and therefore that was the reason. But the Navy have rules. They let me off lightly, but they had to do something. What about you?
So 3 times I think I was trooped. And the first time because I was 16 when I joined, so we had Cinderella leave when you were 16. You had to be back on the ship at 23:59 hours. If you were past midnight, that's why, hence Cinderella leave, you were in trouble. And I came back at about 20 past midnight because I'd been out in Union Street with a friend that I'd met, and I got back late, and so I got trooped for that. And then I got trooped again when we were overseas for hauling the ensign up the jackstaff as we came alongside in Karachi, which went down really badly, and I dropped the leading hand in the trouble for that. And then I got trooped again, obviously, when I was overseas and went AWOL.
Yeah.
All good fun, all part of the learning curve. Do the crime, do the time, move on.
Did it reflect on your service record?
No, not at all. All very good conduct. Undetected crime.
Yeah, they were quite good at that because I remember speaking to someone. I said, "Will this carry through?" I said, "Once you've gone off the ship, it will be kind of forgotten." And that's the thing. You're dealing with people abroad, often in difficult situations. You're going to let off steam. They kind of know this. So long as you're not committing some international incident, they'll give you a slap on the wrist and get on with it.
In the grand scheme of things, though it is the end of the world for you at that moment in time, it really is quite insignificant, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I did enjoy it.
Well, good. Later.
Right, mate.